You're a wizard, Harry.
I'm a what?
A wizard. And a thumping good one, I'd wager.
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I'm ready to drop on you my updated and refreshed Lightning Storm Werewolf. If you are a fan of lightning and huge AOE, if you are a fan of casting, this is going to be the build for you. As always, we will cover every single facet of this build. Everything is timestamped in the description below if you need to bounce around. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Starting off with some gameplay. Now the skills I'm using for this Lightning Storm Werewolf are Wind Shear, Lightning Storm, obviously our main damage dealer, Blood Howl, Cyclone Armor, Hurricane, and of course, Grizzly Rage. Now I will say, at first when you are playing this, it feels a little weird because you are a melee transformed wolf, but you play like a source. You actually are a ranged caster, which even just looking at it, you know, looks kind of funny. But you kind of get the best of all worlds, and I can tell you it functions very, very well. Now, in order to make this build work, you will need Tempest Roar. That's the helmet that allows you to use storm skills inside of werewolf form. So just know that that is most definitely needed. At time of recording, this druid is level 85, and you will see that we are fighting enemies at 102. Ooh, give me that. So 17 levels higher than us, and you can see we are having no problem with this dungeon. So let's kill this last group of enemies, and then what we'll do is we will jump over and I will show you a boss kill. Look at that, all done. Ooh, I like when they get together like that. Right, Blood Bishop, level 101. Its life should literally fly down. Again, at time of recording, level 85, Blood Bishop, level 101. 3/4 dead. Oh, got me right at the end. Okay, I promise you we will succeed in this fight. Come on. Now we don't have Grizzly Rage, so we're just going to use our Lightning Cast to finish off the Blood Bishop. And you dead. No problem. Let me show you how to recreate this build. Starting off with our skill tree. Now, you're not going to be using Generator all that often, but what you want to use is Wind Shear because this has a chance to make enemies vulnerable. Only 2 points. When we move down to core skills, this is a Lightning Storm Werewolf, so of course you want as many points into Lightning Storm as possible, and we're taking Raging Lightning Storm. Now, for our core skill, we do want to boost the damage by using Wild Impulses, which is going to make you use more spirit. But again, we're going to want that added damage for our core skills. And then we have 1 point into Instinct and 3 points into Gate. We like moving around quickly. As you come down to your defenses, we are taking Cyclone Armor, only 1 point, and we're taking Preserving Cyclone Armor for the damage reduction. For Blood Howl, we are taking only 1 point and taking Innate Blood Howl to give us that spirit when we need it. And since we're going to be using these all the time, we are putting 3 points into Vigilance, which is going to give us damage reduction. Now, as we move down, we have 3 points into Nature's Reach. This is a distant caster, so you're going to get more damage as long as you're hitting distant enemies. As we continue to go down for this build, we are using Hurricane. Remember, we can use Hurricane inside of Werewolf as long as we are using Tempest Roar. Only 1 point, and you want 1 point into Natural Hurricane. Now, around here, you're going to go all around and take almost everything. 3 into Exposure, 3 into Tempest, 1 into Omen, and 3 into Electric Shock. As we come down, you want 1 into Neurotoxin, 1 into Claws, and 3 into Envenom, so that you get a boost to your critical strike damage. For our ultimate skill, like always, we are taking Grizzly Rage. Even with them nerfing it, it is still so good. 3 points into Defiance, 3 points into Circle of Life. And last but not least, you want 1 point into Earth and Might. Those are the skills. Moving over to the Spirit Boons. For Deer, you want to take Wariness. This is literally in every single build, damage reduction from elites. Under Eagle, you're going to put 2 points, 1 into Talons for crit strike chance, and 1 into Wrath for increased critical strike damage. And then the other 2 are right under. For Wolf, you're taking Calamity for extended ultimate skill. And for Snake, you are taking Calm Before the Storm, which is going to give you your ultimate skill cooldown. Now let's talk Paragon boards, and I have 7 newly min-max boards for our Lightning Storm Werewolf. Now, before we go through each of them, second link in the description is the 4,000 word Icy Veins written out guide. It goes into way more detail than what I can put in this video. So if you have questions or you need something answered, you will likely find it there. Again, second link in the description. Okay, we'll go through each board one at a time. If you want to screenshot it, I will pause. Starting board. We are using Fulminate. Got it? Board number 2. We are using Inner Beast. And we are using Werewolf. Right. Board number 3. We are moving left. And this is Lust for Carnage. And we have Undaunted. Coming down, board number 4, we are using Earth and Sky. Or we're using Thunderstruck, and the glyph is Earth and Sky. All right, now we're headed up to board number 5, which is Heightened Malice. And we are using Exploit. Board number 6, Constricting Tendrils. And in here, we have Spirit. Last but not least, board number 7. This is on Ancestral Guidance. And we're taking this board for Ancestral Guidance, the legendary node. That is the Paragon board. Moving over to everyone's favorite gear, starting with gems and hearts. Now for your weapon, you want an emerald. This is a best in slot, critical strike damage to vulnerable enemies. For armor, you want a sapphire, damage reduction while fortified. You're going to be fortified most of the time, if not all the time. Now for your hearts, for the season 1 mechanic, you want Beast, which is going to help you with your Grizzly Rage activation, 6 seconds. You want Fate, which is critical strike damage, and you want Revenge, which is suppression, and you will explode out. Now, a lot of people use the Barber. We have made the decision to pull the Barber out of all of our builds because it's bugged and it's not functioning correctly, and it's supposed to be nerfed back. So anyways, if you're wondering why isn't Aaron using the Barber, that is why we have pulled it out of all of our builds. If you would like to use it, you can do that. Now we'll go through each aspect one at a time. Of course, we are using Tempest Roar as our unique. Like I said earlier, this is required for this build to work. There's some people that have found 1,000 and there's people that have found none. I hope your hunting went well and you have yourself a Tempest Roar. For our chest, we're taking damage reduction while in werewolf form. Gloves, we're taking Werebeast. This gives us a longer duration of Grizzly Rage. For pants, boosting our armor. Boots, Hurricane is active. You gain ranks to shape-shifting skills. This helps us big time when it comes to using Tempest Roar. For our weapon, we're using Lightning Dancer's Aspect. Lightning Storm creates critical strike, spawn 3 dancing bolts. There's going to be lightning everywhere. For our offhand, we're using our Overcharged Aspect. Lucky Hit, chance dealing lightning damage. Overload the targets for 3 seconds. For our rings, we're using Aspect of Retaliation. And Mighty Storm, the Earthen Key passive also applies to your storm skills. This is required to make the build work. This is why we're using the Earthen Might Key passive. And lastly, we are boosting up our Dire Wolf in our amulet. This is going to help us with movement speed, damage, and spirit. Those are the aspects, gems, and hearts. Last but not least, let's go through gear stat priority. And we're going to go through one by one. Again, check out Icy Veins for the full written out guide, which puts each affix in order, and we have more than 4. So for helmet, you have nothing because this build requires Tempest Roar. For our chest armor, we have damage reduction, total armor, and max life. Since this is a ranged build, we actually move a little bit away from damage reduction since we're not in melee range, but it is still going to be a critical stat. For gloves, rank 2 Lightning Storm, crit chance, lightning critical strike damage, and critical strike damage. For pants, damage reduction, total armor. Boots, movement speed, damage reduction, willpower, armor in werewolf. Amulet, cooldown reduction, ranks to Envenom. This is very, very important from a damage output. Damage reduction while injured, and damage reduction. Now, I should have mentioned this in previous videos. The reason why you see so much damage reduction while injured is because this stat was not nerfed by Blizzard. So it is still very, very strong, pre-season 1. For our rings that are the exact same, you want vulnerability damage, crit chance, crit damage, and lightning critical strike damage. For weapon, vulnerability damage, crit damage, willpower, and critical strike damage in Werewolf. And last but not least, our offhand, we want cooldown reduction, critical strike chance, spirit cost reduction, and willpower. Those are the stats. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. Was there anything I missed? Is there anything I could do to push us to the next level? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. 2 asks at the end of the video. Ask number 1, I'm hoping today is the day I have earned your subscription. Hoping today is the day you make the decision to push that little red button. I would really appreciate it, but again, only if you think I deserve it. Ask number 2, check out my Patreon. Thank you to the first 82 members that have signed up. Become an instant ARPG VIP and get Patreon exclusive content at the first link in the description. I get asked all the time, Aaron, what is the best way to support? And Patreon is it, and you get the most added benefits. So that's all I've got. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.